One look at you, and my heart knew you were the one for me.
Not the type of the brand, my lady got it all. Hey, yeah, she poppin' but never poppin' off. Plus she bad and bougie to top it off. Tell whoever trippin' they can knock it off. Not the type of the brand, little baby got it all, yeah. Am I wrong? I just wanna show you off. Hey, when you ride, I chop it, the top is off. So tell whoever trippin', you the type that made me boss up. I've been coolin', but you movin' with some hot stuff. I just blow it, it don't matter what it cost us. Baby, bring it to the table like a pilot, yeah. And they be telling me it's not love, but I don't know who they speaking on, it's not us. You can't tell me what you got, it's not drugs. Cause I'm addicted, keep me coming, let me cop up, yeah. And girl, you got me locked up, they won't let me out. Dealing with these they just stress me out. You the one I wanna come and bless me now, right now, like, not the type of the brand, my lady got it all. Hey, yeah, she poppin' but never poppin' off.
Alright, we boyfriend and girlfriend now.
Yes, we together.
I asked you, went to the special restaurant,
Yes.
got together, and then from there, what was your mind like? I feel like you was already in the mindset of, this is my boyfriend.
Yeah.
I think I was more so like,
You needed to get.
I needed to ease
I feel like
my way
you used to
into-
always say too, like, I feel like your mom raised you to be a wife. You used to always say that. And I really feel.
I text Easy.
What did you say?
I don't think I ever showed you this. Easy sent me, he was asking me like, what's your summer roster look like?
Jesus,
I'm
Easy,
like,
what?
Yeah, I'm
Go
like,
ahead.
bruh, Destiny is made to be a wife. Like, she like different, bruh.
Thank you. I
So,
don't know.
yeah, I always told you that.
You did. So I don't know. And I'm not that my mom ever was like, this is how you be a wife, but just watching her with my dad, it was like,
for sure.
whenever I was in a relationship, I feel like I always just did what I feel like I saw her do.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
And I think I knew what I needed to do. I just think I just needed some more hard work. Like it was a lot of work for me to do in regards to like becoming a better version of myself. So that was a cool transition. But I think one of the things that I wanted to talk about, or just even kind of break up, is the idea of like, once we got into a relationship, I think we learned over time. Well, I learned over time there's just certain things that you can't do.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a friendly person.
Yes, Keon is friendly, and out of the two of us, I'm a very, I don't know if y'all probably can't tell, but I'm a very like, when I have a boyfriend, like, I'm sorry, any guy that's DMing me, I'm like, I have a boyfriend. Like, I just say that.
Yeah.
Because I don't even have time, like, and I just like don't even try it. Keon is more like
No.
All right, you tell your story.
When we first got together,
Yes.
because now
It's totally different. Amen. God is good.
tell me proud.
I'm proud. Go ahead.
When we first got together, though, it wasn't even awesome. Like I was trying to like slide on anybody, obviously, but it was just more so like I
Things
was just
that
like a nice
you used
person.
to
I was
do.
just used to when you single or when you just like, you know, like somebody make a funny story, and you just like laugh, but like you realize like, bro, like it's bigger than that. And even though it might be harmful in your eyes, somebody can easily be like, oh, he was in my DM and he got a girlfriend, and I
had to bring it to you like that. I was like, how would you feel if I did that?
Yeah.
Like, I think sometimes, you know, if you're used to doing that, you're not thinking about it from the other person's point of view. I feel like when you get in a relationship, anything that you do or decide to do, you need to think about how would this make the other person feel? How would this make Keon feel?
As soon as you said that, like my heart.
He was like, "Oh no, you right. Like you right."
Because you necessarily don't think about those things, and also too is like that helped me in my decision making moving forward.
Yeah.
And I reflected on like there was a moment. It was one dude trying to slide on D, and she screenshotted it and showed me, and that just gave me so much security. Like, dang, that's how you responded. Like, and basically like that's how she needs to feel. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I felt secure and safe, she needs to feel that. And I think that's important that, you know, because again, like you can easily just be like, it's harmful, like it's not really.
It's like, you know, my intentions are not.
My intentions, that's what I was saying. Like I'm not really trying, but you have to protect, and I think that's the biggest thing. Like you have to protect your partner, bro.
Very much. And it's not always about like it's not about you 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
It's really about the other person.
Yeah,
the person who is trying to. You might be just liking a story, but then they might take it to their girlfriends and run. Or if a nigga's writing me, and if I say something, and something that they might take, as a, like flirting, but it's not like you just want to negate anything that will make you feel like someone can have any way or room to wiggle in and like affect the relationship.
That's huge. I think that's something that's really been helpful for us. But I think one of the things too was like that wasn't communicated when we first got together, and I think that's the beauty of relationships.
Yeah,
like,
for me that was like a staple. Like I already, when I'm a girlfriend, this is how you act, this is what you do.
And I typically would get there. I think my mindset, it's just like because we got together so abruptly, like I had that God came to me type thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh damn, like she's really my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
So like I needed to. But I think it was good that we like talked about those things.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on like unexpected communications and like
uncommunicated?
Yeah.
Expectations.
Yeah.
I got you. It's okay.
What I do without you, girl?
It's okay. I think that I learned for myself that it's like just because I'm this way does not mean that that you automatically think like me. Just because we're boyfriend and girlfriend, yes, we might have aligned on like morals and spirituality, but that doesn't mean that how I think you think the same way. And I thought that because you're my boyfriend, you're this kind of man, you're gonna think like me. And we had our moments, and I'm like, I didn't always handle it in the proper way, but I feel like from those moments, we were able to open up and say, well, how do we handle these in the next time?
I think
how do you want me to move forward with this? How should I handle this situation? And I think that was a necessary moment in our relationship.
Because there's so many nuances to relationships. Like there's so many little things, like me being the only child.
Yes.
You coming from a family of 26 siblings.
First of all, there's 5 of us.
How many conversations that we had just around that? Like even last night, we got into it kind of, and now we here, and you so glad. And we good, but even just like reflecting on how like I had like a crazy week, and I was just out of it, and me being the only child, it's natural for me to just isolate and just like be in my own self. But like there also is a necessary responsibility on me to like open up to you and share with you and be vulnerable with you. I can't just like not talk to you.
Yeah. No, that's none of that. But I think that again, you have to be comfortable and safe enough to even say, this is how I'm feeling. Or like, I had a long day and I feel like I don't want to talk. Like that, I feel like that is something that you have to feel safe enough to say, and then how I respond to that is important as well. I can't be like, oh, Keon, like, it's whatever, like, come on, I need you to talk right now. That's negating your emotions and your feelings.
Let's talk about that, vulnerability. Yeah. Because I think that was something that was the biggest thing. Yes. The biggest transition out of all of it for me. Yeah. Because I somewhat had a wall up.
Yeah. And I come from a family where we talk about everything. Like, the house is open. All my siblings range from 30 to 23. And my parents they've been married for 31 years. We talk about everything, very much out in the open. It's not much like, yes, people keep things to themselves, but we talk about everything. So when I met Keon, I think I was very much, I brought that to us. Like, I was telling him everything about me, about my family, about everything. But I could tell that Keon was like, he would tell me just enough and leave a little bit out. Yeah, for sure. But I feel like because I think as an only child, you probably get used to like suppressing or just, I don't know, maybe not having, yes, you have friends, but I think that if you're used to always talking about how you feel and what you're doing all the time in a space like I was, and you aren't always used to that, I think that it was hard for, I think you always said, like, you do share a lot. Like, you would say that to me, like, you do share a lot. And I was like, is this a bad thing? Like, that's just normal. And I do think that me sharing a lot also helped you to see, like, this was safe. Like, you could share it with me.
I think because I'm just naturally the person that everybody comes to, it was like, oh, wait, like, I have that? Yeah. Like, because I remember I told you, like, you will respond, like, how I would respond, like, I'm the person, all my friends, all my family, all my cousins, everybody come to me. And, like, I'm grateful for that. Yeah. But, sometimes I just took that as, like, I'm just supposed to be there for everybody else. Yeah. But when I came to you and I was like, wait, I can release all that? Yeah. And you still gonna love me? Like, I was like, Oh man, it took some time to like adjust my mindset, adjust like the idea that like she's here for me.
Yes.
It's safe to like cry in front of you or tell you like, babe, like I don't know who I am today. Like I'm struggling with what I'm feeling and like all of those things. And then I can go back and say the same thing tomorrow. Yeah. And you still gonna love me. You know what I'm saying? Because like for me it's like, bro, I just put all that on her. Like that was too much. Like let me just give her some space.
And I'm like, this is normal.
Then you would get mad. I think that's what the shift came. When you started getting mad that I wasn't vulnerable with you. Yeah, because it's like, how are we supposed to be? How am I gonna be with someone who I don't know all of you? I don't want piece of you. I want everything. And if I'm giving you everything, I should be getting the same in return. You know what I'm saying? And even if it took you a while to get there, I think me being the example showed you that like this is okay to be all out with this person. You might not feel comfortable to do it with everybody, but your girlfriend, your wife, whoever, you should be able to be 110% Keon. Maybe at school you gotta be just principal Keon, but with Destiny, you can, be all of you, and know that like that's people who love you, they're gonna accept you for all of who you are. Yeah. But people who want something from you, that's when they don't accept you for all that. So what made you give me? Because I would argue that you gave me all of you pretty early. Yeah. But it wasn't like no holding back. And even though you say you're an open, natural person, there are sides of you that I don't think people have been exposed to except for me. So like, how did that happen? Like,
I think that, I don't know, like from the beginning, I felt very like at peace with you. Like I could be and I don't think I've ever dated anybody and I felt like I could be 100% Destiny. I think I told you that before. Yeah, like, sure. I could be goofy, I could be silly. I don't feel like I have to be like a certain type of way, a certain type of girl. Like I just feel like I could be 100% me. I don't know if I just feel safe. Like I just feel like I can you're not gonna judge me. You're just gonna be like, like you're gonna be fine with it. So I think that was a big deal. But I don't know. I think you see the sides that everybody don't see. I don't know. I feel like you might bring them out. Yeah. Like you might bring those sides out because I'm safe, because I feel like that it's like, okay, we can let's tap into this part of Destiny or this part. I feel like, okay, I feel safe enough to even say this is new, but I can do this with Keon.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of relationships.
Yeah.
But even getting back to, because talking about the sides, one of the things that we talk about often is like, you have a certain way of responding to certain things when they come up. You know where I'm going.
Yeah, it's okay though. I'm mad.
You have a certain way of responding to certain things, and I have a certain way of responding to certain things.
Yes. So let's talk about that. I'm a person who wants to talk about something right in the moment. If you're upset, let's talk about it right now and get it over.
Look, wait, hold up. Do y'all see her hand?
So yes, I can be. Oh wait, go ahead.
What's happening? We're gonna be honest and vulnerable.
Yes, amen. I'm not mad. I'm not ashamed.
One time we were on the phone, and this is important too because I think we talked about this too. It's important for us we have a responsibility to be vulnerable and open to people, but we only are open and vulnerable about things that we've already came through. Yeah, like overcome. Yeah, we're not about to just be sharing with everybody. But I think that's important too, like just too much information. Yeah, for sure. But one time, Destiny was on the phone with us, and like I said, we already talked about it, on the phone with me, and y'all see the beauty in her eyes.
Oh,
she's such a great person. But she also got a gangster side to her. The Deli Chester part come out. We on the phone, bruh. She's like, I said, Destiny. Yeah, he was fine like that, so it kind of was like, why am I yelling? Like, I felt kind of dumb. I said, I really did. I said, Destiny, if you ever raise your voice. Yeah, you did. He whispered it, like, if you ever raise your voice at me. And I'm like, who you talking to? Kind of, but it also made me be like, all right, Destiny, like, why am I yelling? Like, all right, bring it in. Yeah. So yeah, I'm the type of person that I want to talk about it in the moment. I don't want to wait. I don't want to process nothing. Keon, he wants to process. He wants 10 hours to be able to think about how he feels about what just happened. And it's like, bruh, can we just talk it out, please? Talk about Valentine's Day.
Okay, Valentine's Day, it was beautiful. We went to my parents'
It was beautiful?
We had a nice time.
We did. We did have awesome time.
Okay, so we went to my parents' marriage conference. And Keon had set up. So we had 2 rooms. Y'all know we were waiting because we're waiting. God is good.
Lord have mercy.
Amen. So anyway, we had 2 rooms, and he had beautiful flower petals. In my room, he had.
No, we gotta go back.
Oh, let's back up. So maybe a week or 2 before he asked me verbally on FaceTime, he says, "What do you want for Valentine's Day?" What do you want for Valentine's Day? So make sure y'all remember. He asked me.
Make sure y'all remember.
Please. Then, so I sent him like 3 links. I'm a very specific girl. I know what I want when I want something. Okay. So I sent him the links. Boom. Valentine's Day gets here. We go, I'm in my room, and we walk in, it's flowers, beautiful, lights, cute. If anybody knows me, I know I don't like flowers, but this was nice. This was okay because it was like a holiday, and if I'm getting a gift with flowers, it makes sense for me. I don't know why I'm wired that way, but I am.
And I knew that.
And Keon was not.
But also too, let's set the picture.
Okay. Go ahead.
People who know me know I don't leave school early. Mm-hmm. Very rarely.
Yes.
And we had an event that day.
Yes.
I left early to show that she is a priority. Set up the room. Yep. Broke into the room because the lady wasn't trying to give me the key. That's another story. Set the flowers up. I had books. I had the 50-page reasons why I love you. Yes. 2 of them.
So.
That's 100 together.
So.
All your favorite candies. Yes. All your favorite food.
He had my favorite candies and my favorite snack and a teddy bear and flowers. Long stem flowers.
It took about an hour and a half to set it all up.
It was cute. And so we go in a room and I'm like, "Oh, babe." I mean, I said it like that, didn't I?
He said it. She walked in the jump. I'm thinking it's gonna be. I'm waiting for the tears. I'm waiting for the jump in my arms or something. She's like, "Oh, this is nice." But those were real flowers too.
But you learned. You like it with what you said?
You like it with surprises.
No, I heard you say it first.
All right, go back.
Thank you. Anyway, so thank you. So I'm like, all right, in my mind, I'm like, where'd it get? But I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna say that because he.
I'm like, so obviously anybody in a relationship, so this friend,
you know your
somebody,
person.
you know your person. So she's like, "Oh, this is nice." I'm like,
he like, what's wrong?
What's wrong?
I'm like, you asked me, did I want anything?
I was like, no. I said, you like it? He's like,
I was like, yeah. Like, I was trying to really smooth it over. And so he automatically get shut down. And I'm like, babe, it's really because you asked me what I wanted. And this is not what I wanted. And then he goes to his room.
Because if I would have responded in that moment, I would have said some things that I shouldn't have said.
So he goes to his room, which was, we had like a room with the door in the middle. So he goes to his room, and I'm like, I'm giving him 5 minutes. Mind you, it's a weekend, so I'm like, I'm not finna be mad all weekend. Like, let's talk about it. So I come over and I'm like, babe, let's talk. So I probably let like 5 minutes go by, and I'm like, let's talk. He's like, what did you? I feel like you were just like, well, what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
And I'm
really
like,
wasn't trying to talk.
No,
about
he wasn't.
I think that was probably my favorite conversation that we've ever had because it was a lot of, it was very uncomfortable, but it forced a lot of vulnerability. That was one of our first real open, coming to an agreement,
and also talking
understanding
about
each other,
unrealistic expectations, or just not knowing. Like for me, again, I grew up. I'm used to seeing any holiday, birthday, shower. If my father shower my mom. He showered us with gifts or whatever, and he knows my love language. Keon does know my love language. Keon, on the other hand, he was looking at it more so from his point of view, and I think we learned that in that moment it was we have to give each other what each other wants, not what we want for the other person. Yeah. So that's what we really learned in that moment. He expressed Destiny, I'm an only child. I was, I get things all the time, but it wasn't, and he likes thoughtful things, but it was for me, So we had to talk about okay, did you do something, so wrong I'm going to break up with you? No. But we had to have a conversation that was really able to, like you say, it was a great conversation to say, I know now that when these things come up, this is what you want. This is how, especially if I ask you, you know, we learned from that moment.
For
so
sure.
it was
also
a great
to
conversation.
see like the heart in it, like even though like it was the wrong gift per se, like the fact that I went all out, like I wanted, like you understood, like
yes,
you seen my heart in it, and that's all I wanted you. You know what I'm saying? Like
yes.
And we did it. And then the next morning, and then like one of the things that our parents said at the conference was just like, tomorrow's not promised, so I'm not about to waste any moments of being mad at each other. Like, of course, you're gonna have moments, but like we could have wasted that whole weekend
mad at
each other. We didn't talk about it, so like.
And that's why I think we really do pride ourselves on our communication. Like, communication is really the key for relationships. Like, you really do, but you, again, not just communication, but communication and vulnerability. Because if you're not honest or if you're not being open, that can also affect the outcome of the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if Keon was just like, all right, you know what, babe, you're right, and like just left it at that, like I don't want to talk about it, my response to that would have been totally different versus us really having a drawn out conversation to say, well, babe, I feel like this, or I'm used to seeing this. When birthdays come, I'm used to doing this. How can we incorporate that into our relationship?
Yeah, for sure. So I think like, well, going back, yeah, that's definitely one of a lot of the transition, or just like thinking about those things, but like the ultimate transition was in October.
Yes.
That's when I came up to Delaware, and we talked about it in I think it was like the first episode, the prayer that we started off with, but like I really had a moment where I felt like God was just like this is your way, and in order for y'all to get to, because I'm calling y'all to marriage in pretty like an expedited way, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Accelerated track. Accelerated track.
Accelerated. Similar, definitely. What's the words when they have the same time? There you go, boom. They similar.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like God was calling us to that, and I knew in order for us to get to that space, there were certain things we had to do.
Yes. And
that was the transition.
Every Thursday.
Listen, y'all, I just drove all the way. You can't cuss in the video.
Oh, I'm sorry. Start over again. 5, 6,
Nope.
7, 8.
The world needs to hear the true destiny. I just drove all the way to Delaware, straight from work. I left school. Look, I got my press school shirt on.
For me.
To hear her speak.
For
she
me.
did such a great job. You got anything you want to say to me?
I would like to say that Keon is in love, okay? Because he came all the way to Delhi.
Hey, so look, I never leave work. and I left early on a day that we had an event. Just to hear her speak.
Because he loved me. I love him too.
And she is so beautiful. She spoke so well,
No, he
so
said I talk
eloquently. She did talk a little fast, y'all, but we gonna work on that.
It was bad.
She did so well.
Right.
The women were just so inspired. Wow, that's good. Like, look, she's dancing in the street because she's so excited that I'm here.
Don't look cute. Let me see.
Yeah, you did. Girl, you look good. Walk.
Out of my line, yeah. I need to have you as my lover and my wife. Oh, baby. Oh, be my lover.
Security said we got nothing. Back, y'all. We just left PJ. What you got to say?
The dance? I don't know.
It was cool.
It wasn't all. It wasn't all.
It was cool. But great memories.
Great memories.
She looks so beautiful. Look at her, y'all. She looks so good. She looks so good. Again, I want to lick her, but I gotta wait for marriage. Hold me up there and stop watching. I got a little foot action. I'm making progress.
He's annoying.
See y'all later.
Look, I know.
He said, I know how this goes.
He said, I know how this works.
For you, let me inside your love. Oh, my heart is yearning for you. Let me inside your love.
Out of order. Baby, love tonight. I'm putting the ball in your court.
You can do what you want, girl, if you're ready.
Hey. Hey.
I don't know the words to this part, but go steady. Go steady. We can do whatever you want, girl, if you're ready. Cause it's my world. That's what Keon said. Girl, we can just go steady. We can do whatever you want. These cameras so funny, bro. I am ready.
You going on my camera?
To get it. It did take him a minute. It took him actually April, May, June, July, 5 months. But he got it though. He got it